The evening of February 16, 1998, bore witness to a tragedy that left an indelible mark on aviation history. China Airlines Flight 676, an Airbus A300-622R en route from Denpasar, Indonesia to Taipei, Taiwan, met a grim fate just kilometers from its destination. The aircraft, carrying 182 passengers and a crew of 14, crashed in a residential area near Chiang Kai-shek International Airport, now Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport. The disaster sent shockwaves across the globe, as investigators and the public grappled with the question of how such a tragedy could occur just moments from a seemingly routine landing. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of aviation and the importance of understanding the factors that contribute to such catastrophic events. As darkness enveloped the Taiwanese sky, Flight 676 prepared for its final descent. The Airbus A300, a workhorse of the skies known for its reliability, was under the control of experienced pilots. However, the weather had other plans. Heavy rain and dense fog shrouded the airport, severely limiting visibility and creating hazardous conditions for landing. The stage was set for what would become a textbook case of controlled flight into terrain, a stark reminder of the importance of pilot training, communication, and adherence to safety protocols, especially in adverse weather conditions. The tranquil night was shattered by the deafening roar of the aircraft as it descended too low, clipping power lines and trees. It ultimately slammed into the ground, erupting into a fiery inferno that consumed homes and took innocent lives on the ground. The crash site, a scene of unimaginable devastation, stood as a grim testament to the tragedy. It also underscored the importance of continued efforts to enhance aviation safety and prevent similar accidents in the future. The loss of China Airlines Flight 676 remains a somber chapter in aviation history. This tragedy serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of rigorous safety protocols, effective communication between pilots and air traffic control, and the need for continuous improvement in aviation technology and training. The memory of those lost continues to fuel the pursuit of safer skies for all. While aviation accidents are often the result of a complex interplay of factors, the crash of China Airlines Flight 676 highlights the critical roles of both human error and challenging weather conditions. The official investigation, conducted by the Civil Aeronautics Administration of Taiwan, determined that the primary cause of the accident was controlled flight into terrain due to pilot error during a go-around procedure. This finding emphasized the importance of pilot decision-making, especially in challenging situations. The weather conditions on that fateful night were far from ideal for landing. Heavy rain and thick fog significantly reduced visibility, making it difficult for the pilots to accurately assess their altitude and distance from the runway. Despite these challenging conditions, the crew initially attempted to land the aircraft. However, as the Airbus A300 descended through the fog-laden sky, the pilots realized they were too low and initiated a go-around. This maneuver, a standard procedure when a landing attempt is aborted, requires precision and adherence to specific protocols. Unfortunately, the combination of poor visibility and possible miscommunication between the pilots and air traffic control created a perilous situation. The pilots, disoriented by the lack of visual cues and potentially confused by instructions from air traffic control, made a series of critical errors during the go-around. Instead of maintaining a steady climb, the aircraft entered a shallow climb, its altitude barely increasing. This deviation from standard procedure, coupled with the already low altitude, set the stage for disaster. Tragically, the pilot's misjudgment of the aircraft's trajectory proved fatal. The Airbus A300, still too low and struggling to gain altitude in the heavy rain, clipped power lines and trees before crashing into the ground with a deafening roar. The impact, occurring in a densely populated area, resulted in the deaths of all 196 souls on board and an additional 14 people on the ground. The magnitude of the tragedy served as a stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of aviation and the vital importance of addressing the factors that contribute to such accidents. As China Airlines Flight 676 approached Taipei's Chiang Kai-shek International Airport, the pilots were confronted with deteriorating weather conditions. Heavy rain and thick fog enveloped the runway, significantly reducing visibility and making the final approach particularly challenging. Despite these adverse conditions, the crew initially decided to attempt a landing, relying on their instruments and communication with air traffic control to guide them safely to the ground. Inside the cockpit, tension mounted as the pilots struggled to maintain visual contact with the runway. The flashing lights of the approach system, normally a reassuring beacon in the darkness, were obscured by the dense fog. The pilots' voices, captured on the cockpit voice recorder, revealed their growing concern as they exchanged observations and confirmed instrument readings. The sound of heavy rain pounding against the cockpit windshield added to the sense of urgency. At approximately 7:06 p.m. local time, as the Airbus A300 descended through 1,700 feet, the ground proximity warning system blared its distinctive whoop, whoop, pull-up alarm, indicating that the aircraft was dangerously close to the ground. Recognizing the perilous situation, the pilot flying initiated a go-around, applying full power and attempting to climb back to a safe altitude. However, the aircraft's response was sluggish, hampered by the heavy rain and the fact that it was still in a landing configuration with flaps extended. Despite the pilot's desperate efforts, the aircraft continued to descend. The cockpit voice recorder captured the frantic exchange between the pilots as they struggled to regain control. The sound of the stick shaker, a device that violently shakes the control column to warn of an impending stall, added to the chaos. Seconds later, the aircraft, its wings no longer able to generate enough lift, slammed into the ground, killing all 196 souls on board and 14 people on the ground. Section 4. Remembering the Lost Aftermath and Legacy. The crash of China Airlines Flight 676 sent shockwaves through Taiwan and the global aviation community. The immediate aftermath was marked by a massive search and rescue effort with hundreds of emergency personnel combing through the wreckage and debris field. However, the intensity of the impact and the ensuing fire left no survivors. The grim task of identifying victims and notifying families began, casting a pall of grief over the nation. In the wake of the tragedy, the Taiwanese government launched a thorough investigation into the cause of the crash. The Civil Aeronautics Administration, with assistance from international aviation experts, meticulously examined the wreckage, analyzed flight data and cockpit voice recordings, and reviewed air traffic control communications. The investigation revealed a series of contributing factors, including the challenging weather conditions, possible miscommunication between the pilots and air traffic control, and the pilot's decision-making during the critical go-around procedure. The tragic loss of China Airlines Flight 676 led to significant changes in aviation safety regulations and procedures, both in Taiwan and internationally. The Civil Aeronautics Administration implemented enhanced pilot training programs with a focus on go-around procedures, particularly in adverse weather conditions. The incident also prompted the widespread adoption of advanced ground proximity warning systems and other navigational aids designed to provide pilots with better situational awareness during critical phases of flight. The memory of those lost in the crash of China Airlines Flight 676 serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of continuous improvement in aviation safety. The tragedy spurred advancements in pilot training, air traffic control procedures, and aircraft technology, ultimately making flying safer for millions of people around the world. The legacy of Flight 676 lies not only in the sorrow of those left behind, but also in the unwavering commitment to learning from past mistakes and preventing future tragedies. Thank you for watching. If you found this information helpful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more detailed aviation reports and updates. Stay informed and stay safe.